Hi there, this is Ranjit from tech2buzz.com, and this is the Samsung Galaxy Star, the most affordable Android phone by Samsung. And this phone sells in India for just around 4,800 to 4,900 rupees. That's just US $80. So this has to be the most affordable Android phone, and the performance is decent. But yes, Samsung has made some compromises. Again, as you can see, it's a very small Android phone, just a 3-inch phone. To give you an idea, let me bring this Samsung Galaxy S4 near it, and as you can see, it's pretty tiny phone, but it will be great for people who want a very small basic phone, I would say. This device is again basic. Even 3G support is not there, only 2G support you'll get with the same. Also, if you notice, GPS support is missing on this phone. We do not have the auto brightness sensor. The screen, as I said, is just a 2.99 inch screen, and again, if you see, the viewing angles are not the greatest, and again, the screen resolution is also very average, just 240 by 320. Apart from that, it is decent, I would say. Before I proceed, let me quickly give you a physical overview of this phone. On the top, you'll find this 3.5mm headphone jack. We have an indent over here, using which you can open the phone. Actually, let me open it and show you the same. It's a dual SIM Android phone, and for my testing, I just used a single SIM, and you can also add a micro SD card to expand the storage. If you open the battery cover, you'll find the 2 SIM slots. Let me show you the same now. Again, as you can see, it accepts the micro SIM, and I did all my testing with just a single SIM card. And the battery, I would say, with just a single SIM is actually pretty decent. I was getting a battery life of around 1.5 days, so that's very good. Again, if you notice, the camera is just a 2 megapixel shooter. We do not have autofocusing. Opening for the speakerphone is adequately loud. We have the Samsung branding here and nothing else. Actually, the phone looks very good to hold. It's very comfortable. As you can see, it easily fits in your palm. And if moving towards the front also, you'll find interesting thing that there are no sensors over here. We do not have any ambient light sensor or a proximity sensor. We just have the earpiece. Also, no front facing camera here. Again, as you can see, the screen, that's a 2.9 inch screen, and on the bottom we have the 2 touch type capacitive buttons. That's the menu back, and this is the home button. And if we move towards this side, we just have the volume rocker. Overall, in the looks department, I would say the phone looks pretty decent, I would say. And now it has booted, and now coming to the specs, it sports a 1 GHz processor, 512 MB of RAM, a dedicated Mali 300 GPU, and the good thing is that it comes out of the box with Android version 4.1, that's Jelly Bean. Let me show you the same. Again, as you can see, there is sometimes lag, but again, we can't expect too much. Go to the settings, and if we go to about the device, and as you can see, it's running the Android version 4.1.2. That's the Jelly Bean, as you can see. And we do get Google Now support. Sadly, S Voice is not there, but we can't expect that. If you press G, you get to Google Now, and it works. Actually, I made a dedicated video regarding Google Now. You can check out that, and it works actually pretty well on this phone. Now coming to the apps that are pre-installed. Actually, not a lot of them. Video player is installed. We get the stock browser, and I would say that if you are going to do web browsing, it does have Wi-Fi, and as you can see, we are connected. Use this default web browser, but not the Chrome web browser, because I have noticed that the performance with this default web browser is much better. I'll come to web browsing a bit later. Let's see what else is pre-installed. We have the gallery, we have text memo, we have the chat on, we also have FM radio. We have the file commander, that's my files, and again, Google specific apps like YouTube, Gmail, etc. are pre-installed. So not a lot of bloatware, and we do also get quick office for viewing office files. Now let me show you the free RAM. You can just kill all the apps, and let's go here, and also let's clear and all applications that are running, and let's free up the RAM also. Everything is done. Phone will be a little bit sluggish because we have emptied everything. And let's go to this Android system info, and let's look how much free RAM is available to the phone. As you can see, out of that 512 MB, the free RAM that we get is 175 MB. And I would say in my testing, the phone performed decently, not exceptionally well, but decently well. And it did not annoy me. So that was a good thing, I would say. And let's also fire up the CPU Z that gives the general info. As I said, it runs the 1 GHz processor. That's the ARM Cortex A5. And the GPU on this is a Mali 300 GPU. And this is the board that Samsung is using. Again, as I said, the screen resolution is nothing great. It's just 320 by 480. So again, we have Samsung TouchWiz UI. So you get this gesture, which you can access all the home screens. You can add up to 7 home screens. And this also works in the app tray like this if you want. It does have Google Play Store support, so you can download tons and tons of apps if you want. Again, it's not the fastest phone around, I would say, but does the job. You have to have a little bit of patience, I would say. And let us just quickly fire up the web browser now, and let's use the stock web browser. And it's loading our website, that's tech2bars.com. Again, if you noticed, it loads it actually fairly quickly. But as the screen resolution is not that great, the text is a little bit fuzzy and you have to frequently zoom in and zoom out. Thankfully, the pinch to zoom gesture is fairly responsive on this phone. So let's just open up this Samsung Galaxy Core page, and we have a YouTube video that's embedded. So let's test how well it can play it back. And let's change the orientation. And as you can see, orientation change was pretty good. So let's try to play back. Let me just maximize this a little bit. And let's try to play back this YouTube video.
Hi, this is Geekyranjit from tech2bars.com, and in this video we're going to do the
As you can see, it does play it back without any issues, but the viewing angles are simply not that great on this phone.
So this is the box for the Samsung Galaxy Core, and as you can see, it says DOS. That means it's a dual SIM Android phone. And I want to thank Physic Communications for providing this unit for.
So in terms of web browsing also, I would say it is decent. Let us go to one more website. Let me force it to desktop view. One annoying thing is that the keyboard is really small, and if you have fat fingers, it will be difficult for you to type, as the keyboard, because of the screen size, is very small. But the touch response, I would say, is fairly good. I had no problems with that. And I could even do some decent amount of gaming. I'll talk about it a bit later. And as you can see, it loaded this news.com site. And this is a fairly heavy site. And we are in the desktop mode. So as you can see, even browsing works. As I said, you need to constantly pinch in and pinch out because the screen resolution is fairly low. But in terms of handling the web pages, it can do that. So let me get out of the web browser. Now let me talk about media playback also. We do have this YouTube app pre-installed, and let's fire that up. And we're going to use my channel, that's Geekyranjit, and let's look at some of the videos. For example, let's just look at the Galaxy S4 battery life.
Hi there, this is Geekyranjit from Tech2bars.com.
And you can force it to high quality, as you can see.
How is the battery life on the Samsung Galaxy S4?
So as you can see, it does play back YouTube videos without any issues, and also the speaker is adequately loud, I would say. No issues, and it's also fairly quick in orientation change. As you can see, it's fairly quick, so no issues while watching YouTube videos or something like that. Let me get out of this one. And I also installed this third-party player that is MX Player. So let me show you the same. Before that, some people asked me about WhatsApp. You cannot download WhatsApp directly via the Play Store, but you can easily sideload it and it works perfectly. I tested it and it's working. So this is MX Player, and this is a 720p video clip. Let me just refresh it. This is a 720p video clip, and let's see if this phone can play it back. So as you can see, it can play back even 720p content, but it is not smooth. It is skipping quite a few frames. As you can see, it's a little bit jerky. So yes, it can play back 720p videos, but for the smoothest playback, I would say that restrict it up to 480p. And frequently I would say you should hold this home button and kill all the apps if you're going to load a lot of apps. Otherwise the phone tends to become a bit sluggish. But overall, considering the price point of this phone, I would say it has is decent performance. Now coming to some of the cons that I have with this phone is that as you notice, there are no sensors here. There is no proximity sensor or anything like that. So for example, if you make a call, and let us just dial this number, what happens is the screen actually there is no proximity sensor, so the screen locks like this, and to do any interaction or something you have to double tap to the screen to get to it. So this is one issue. And also I have noticed that the screen sometimes, if you are talking for a long time, it blanks out like this, and for it to come back now it can take 2-3 seconds. So it can be a little bit annoying at times, as you saw that. Okay, now let me also show you the speakerphone quality. Let's dial that number again. So after dialing that number, there is sometimes a little bit of lag that you have noticed. This is the speakerphone. So it's adequate, but it's not actually very loud. I would have preferred it to be a little bit louder. Now coming to the camera also, it's just a 2 megapixel shooter and nothing great, I would say. It can take casual shots, for example. Let me show you the same. Actually it takes the shots fairly quickly, but we do not have tap to focus or anything like that, no fancy features. And actually we took 2 shots. Let me take one more shot and let me show you the same. As we do not even have flash, so low light photography is simply not going to be great. Let me preview those, and as you can see, the picture quality is actually very poor. Outdoors it's a little bit better, but nothing great, I would say. So camera is just there for if you just want to take an emergency shot or something like that, it's okay for that. But if you plan to take a lot of photographs with your phone, the camera is nothing great to talk about. Now coming to gaming also, I was actually surprised here. And it could play actually quite a few games like Temple Run 2, Jetpack, Joyride, and even Dead Trigger. I actually made a dedicated video regarding the gaming performance of this phone. So if you want to know more about gaming, you can check out that video. So what do I feel about the Samsung Galaxy Star? This is a very interesting phone by Samsung. Certainly it's the most affordable Android phone by Samsung, but it's not without its flaws. For example, we do not have many sensors like GPS, proximity sensor. Also, as I said, the calling is a little bit clunky because you have to double tap the screen to wake it. But again, we have to take consideration its price. It's the most affordable Android phone by Samsung. I would say this phone can be a decent for a person who's on a very tight budget and is just actually currently using a feature phone and just wants to migrate to a smartphone like Android. The good thing is that it can work with most of the Android applications, and you have access to the Google Play Store where you can download a lot of apps. Browsing is decent enough, I would say. So in terms of Android experience, it does a decent job, I would say. But again, don't expect this phone to be the most fluid phone around. You will face a little bit of lags here and there, but again, you can't complain too much. If you have a little bit higher budget, I would say have a look at the Samsung Galaxy Young, whose performance is a lot better than this phone. But again, for the price, I would say this is a very decent phone by Samsung, and if I would have to rate this phone, I would rate it 7 out of 10. I hope you found this review helpful. This is Ranjit from tech2buzz.com, and I hope to see you in my next video.